r/AskReddit. What is a fact that you think sounds completely false and that makes you angry that it's true? The platypus sweats milk, as it lacks nipples. I was talking to my mum about bees one day and telling her where queen bees come from. Basically they start out as a normal bee larvae, but the worker bees feed it special royal jelly that makes it grow into a queen bee. And as the words came out of my mouth I realized how fake it sounded. My mum didn't believe me and I had to Google it later to prove it to her. The pronunciations of Kansas and Arkansas are not at all similar. America, I am confusion. Until as early as the 1980s, newborns were not given pain medicine during surgery, only muscle relaxant, as it was falsely accepted they could not feel pain. Imagine going through the pain of a surgery but unable to move due to a muscle relaxant. I cut the tip of my middle finger almost off when I was 4 and they gave me nothing for pain. No meds at all, but strapped me down whilst they stitched it back up. Trust me, it was traumatic. I've never screamed more in my life, and the scariest part was the adults just not caring or even acknowledging this traumatized child in pain and scared. I was begging them to stop screaming until I lost my voice. They just talked to each other and ignored me. Horrific memory. Pretty much anything to do with naked mole rats. They are neither related to moles nor rats. They can use their teeth like chopsticks. They have the social hierarchy of bees, and oh yeah, they are cold-blooded. They're also almost entirely resistant to cancer. Scientists tried to force a bunch of them to develop cancer and only like 2 actually ended up with cancer. Walmart is world's largest retailer of diamonds. From 1719 to 1721, prisoners in Paris were given their freedom if they agreed to marry a prostitute and move to Louisiana. Explains a lot about Louisiana. The millionaire heir to the fortune of the American chemical company DuPont, Robert H. Richards, has avoided prison after raping his 3-year-old daughter because a judge considered he wouldn't fare well in prison. All crisps, chips for any Americans, in the UK go out of date on a Saturday. It annoys me because a smug friend pointed it out and I have been unsuccessful in proving him wrong. I had to Google this and found this from Walkers. In the manufacturing sites we work on production weeks which start on a Sunday. All products produced in that week will have the same best before date. As the week ends on the Saturday, the best before date will always end on a Saturday. The fact you can sneeze and or cough so hard you can break a rib. Like how? Why? Suicide Squad has won more Oscars than The Shawshank Redemption. There are more privately owned tigers in Texas than there are wild tigers on the rest of the planet combined. The government pays Microsoft to keep Windows XP running cause the government uses Windows XP a lot. That the capybara is so useless that its main defense is to stand still and wait to be eaten. It's basically a vegetable made from meat. That crocodiles can climb trees. Bananas are berries but strawberries are not berries. Raspberries, blackberries and boysenberries are also not berries. If you mix water and sawdust and freeze it, the resulting ice melts extremely slowly, like weeks at room temperature slowly. Slightly nuttier. They wanted to build a giant aircraft carrier in World War II out of this stuff and park it in the Atlantic. Would supposedly be very torpedo weapon resistant, as they could just refreeze chunks that were blown out. Coolth is an actual word and it's the opposite of warmth. I love using it but my girlfriend ducking hates it. Blind people don't see black. They just don't. They don't see. The only way to understand is to be blind and that infuriates me. Yeah, this one bothers me too. I'd love to have someone who could see and then lost their sight completely. Try to explain the difference between seeing black when you close your eyes and just literally not seeing. I can't even fathom it. I've heard it explained this way. Close your left eye, but keep your right eye open. What do you see out of your left eye? Funding for a public school is cut if standardized test scores are too low. Another interesting fact is that there is almost no correlation between school spending and test results. In fact, many schools have performed worse as they have received more money in the last few decades. A large part of this is that a tiny fraction of the money ever gets to the classroom and most is lost paying for the bureaucracy. Cannoli is already in plural form. The singular form is cannolo. A spaghetto is one noodle of spaghetti. A flock of crows is called a murder. But a flock of ravens is called an unkindness or a conspiracy. Who even comes up with this it? Private prisons make money by meeting quotas to keep prisons full. They technically fail or are not successful if they cannot keep their cells full. McDonald's is the largest toy distributor in the world. Lego is the world's largest producer of toys. IKEA's magazine is the most published book in the world each year. This used to be a distinction held by the Bible, but the magazine now doubles its numbers. That unlockable means both able to be unlocked and unable to be locked. My 11-year-old pointed this out, and I had nothing for her other than a blank stare and then thinking, well, good job. The top 15 cargo ships in the world produce more sulfur and other greenhouse gases than all the world's cars put together. There is only one country between Norway and North Korea. Reno, Nevada is further west than Los Angeles, California. Jacksonville, Florida, on the east coast of North America, is west of all of South America. Taco Bell was voted the best Mexican restaurant in the country. I understand why it happened, but it's just wrong. There's a huge patch of garbage 3 times the size of France floating around the Pacific Ocean. Yep, and according to a 2015 study in the journal Science, the top 6 countries responsible for dumping ocean garbage are China, Indonesia, the Philippines, Vietnam, Sri Lanka and Thailand. Chemically, rhinoceros horn is identical to human fingernails, so biting your nails gives you as much health benefit as powdered rhinoceros horn would. The entire world population could fit in Texas if people lived as densely as Manhattan. 1000 SQFT person. Edit. It's frustrating that so many problems of global resource disparity could probably be solved by bringing people closer together. Same idea for supporting people in countries with challenging living circumstances, whether environment, poverty, violence, or other. I mean, Texas is hot, but it's not that bad. Dolphins are evil. They reproduce mostly by rape. Males will gang rape female dolphins and animals of other species including humans. They will drown baby dolphins so the mother is ready to mate again sooner. They will bite the heads off of fish and masturbate into the dead bodies. They do save people in rare cases, but based on how they treat other species they are more likely to rape you as you drown. Sea otters rape baby seals. They also will kill the seals and continue having sex with it for up to a week. Welcome. We have these amazing medicines called vaccines to help prevent deadly and debilitating illnesses, but a not insignificant number of people decide they'd rather throw hands with deadly microbes and force their kids to gamble with death. Someone lost their stomach after swallowing liquid nitrogen. Humans don't combine spatial awareness and language until age 6. This is more mature adult thinking. Can't say the picture frame is to the left of the blue wall. This explains so goddamn much about my friend's son. Look left, turns right. All the planets in our solar system can fit in between the Earth and the Moon back to back. What the duck? There are more slaves in the world right now than there were at the peak of the Atlantic slave trade. There were still mammoths roaming the earth as the pyramids were being built. Edit. For everyone asking, it makes me angry cause I feel like everything I knew was a lie. That the phrase "I never said she stole my money" can have 7 different meanings depending on which word you stress. Not actually making me angry about it, but it makes me feel weird. Cheetahs can't roar. They can only meow like normal house cats. The fact that in an electric circuit, even though the electric current is electrons moving from negative pole to positive pole, the definition of a current flow is that it moves from positive to negative, and similar misses and definitions in physics science that was just decided to stay because changing definitions would be confusing at first. Installing traffic light costs cities $250,000, $500,000 at an intersection. Flammable and inflammable mean the same thing. Zombie deer disease is spreading. Mistletoe is a parasite. English bulldogs can't give birth naturally. Humanity has ruined them and it's time to let them die. They can't mate naturally either. The males are literally physically incapable of mounting the females, so they either have to be helped to do so, or the females are artificially inseminated. The puppies are always delivered via cesarean section since their skulls would not fit through the birth canal. They will then live their entire lives with compromised breathing. But you know, they are so cute, with their little squished in faces and their adorable snorting. Sorry, I get angry when it comes to purposefully breeding broken animals. I mean, a fact that sounds false but actually makes me happy is that honey is one of the only foods in the world that never goes bad. Might get dirty or hardened but never expires. Also, honey has around 3 different super efficient ways of killing bacteria, which means that honey is ducking awesome. Not so much completely false, but someone once told me that walking is just controlled falling, and for whatever reason that logic completely pisses me off because it's not technically wrong, but I hate it anyway. Pandas are so ducking dumb that they can't reproduce. We have to basically do it for them. As well as they picked the singletest plant to eat. Bamboo gives them next to no nutrients. Subscribe for more animal facts.